Here are the top 5 items student athletes must have. Now, I'm a student athlete myself. I run track and field, and I understand that there are some things that you might need and some things that you actually need in order to succeed for your sports and school itself. So here is a narrowed down list of things that you must have in order to progress better in your sport and succeed on and off the playing field. First thing is a foam roller. Now my foam roller looks like this, has the ridges. This is by Trigger Point, but you can have other foam rollers that are flat, black, or they have bumps on them, or like spikes. There's multiple kinds of foam rollers, so this is one of them, and it really depends on preference. In my opinion, the smooth foam roller is good for like warming up, prehab kind of work for your muscles, but then the rigid ones or textured ones like these is good for recovery, trying to get deep into your muscles, which is why they're so rigid like that. And you wouldn't really want that for a prehab thing because it kind of it adds more impact to your muscles that you actually don't need before you perform. So having a smooth foam roller for prehab and the rigid one for recovery is the way to go in my opinion. The different kinds of foam rollers, I'll link them down below. So get the soft, medium, and the hard texture ones. And these are the ones I find really good. So if you're interested, check it out. Now the second thing is athletic band. You have these basically small, or you can get the longer ones, but the smaller ones are good for your ankle mobility, hips, glutes, kind of just activate. It's also kind of like a prehab thing to do, especially for runners like me. Having these is great for our warm-ups because we need to activate our glutes, our muscles basically, in order to sprint, in order to perform better, in order to get more warmed up. We need to have these so we actually feel that muscle activation, so then we can train better or perform better at our meets. I'll also link the bands in the description. So for all the tangible items, I'll link them down below, so I don't have to keep saying it for you, but yep, this is down below. The different colors also represent the different elasticity or how hard it is to pull. So how do I say it? The strength of the band basically. So there's different types of strengths. Yellow is pretty medium, but you can also get the easier ones. And the third item is a to-do list. It could just be pretty much anything. I find it necessary to have an overall to-do list on your computer, on some Google Doc, so you just write out all the to-do lists. Then what you do is you have something tangible like this. This is basically my to-do list here. I just write down from that overall to-do list onto here what I want to get done in the day. I prefer to have it physically because I get distracted easily on my phone if I just look at it or write down my to-do list on my phone. I don't find it as productive as I want it to be, so I stay away from having my to-do list on my phone. Just get a little cheap notebook like this. What's great about to-do lists is you don't have to think about what you have to do because you either wrote it down the night before or you just have your overall to-do list where you just pick down tasks from it, write it down, and then boom. You don't have to spend more time or energy just to think about what you have to do. You can literally just go throughout your morning, throughout your classes, not have to think about what you have to do after because you have it wrote down here. It's that simple. All right, the fourth is supplements. Now supplements aren't required. They're just to supplement your nutrition. So if you're eating perfectly, you're eating right, you're eating enough, then technically you don't need supplements. But you know, college students or high school students, you aren't always going to have available nutrients for you because some days you might have time to eat more, some days you might have time to eat less, and sometimes you actually don't have the funds to eat. So here are the supplements I recommend. First one is multivitamins, so getting all the vitamins and nutrients you need in order for your cells to function properly. Number two, this is more for explosive athletes like sprinting or lifting, which is creatine monohydrate. I find myself more explosive. You can take it if you want. It's not necessary for becoming a great sprinter, but for me, I felt like I can lift better, I can sprint better after taking creatine. So if you want to level up your game just a little bit, it's not like you're going to get a huge gain. But if you want to level it up a little bit, that's the way to go. The third thing is collagen, just for your tendon health. Fourth thing is the most common, which is protein supplements. So you can literally have any protein powder you want. Of course, make sure it is third-party tested so you don't intake banned substances into your body because some protein powders out there have them. and that's just not good, you know. Since I'm kind of lactose intolerant, I use vegan protein, but if you're just a normal person who don't have those problems like me, you can just have regular whey protein and be fine with that. Fifth thing is snacks. Snacks are essential for your performance, especially for long days, practices, games, or meets, whatever sport you do. Snacks are needed. Snacks give you energy, gives you the nutrients you need in order to survive and endure. There are a lot of unhealthy snacks out there, so I'll give you some snack options that I think are better than chips or other stuff like that. First thing is protein bar, simple like that. It's good for recovery, repairing your muscles. Second is mixed nuts. It's good healthy fats, a little bit of protein, but I would just rather eat nuts just for the fats itself. And the third is edamame. I'm sure that sounds really weird, but edamame has good protein in it. So if you want to eat some protein crispy snack, edamame is the way to go. Now there's a bunch of other options, but this is for like the broke people like me. But the other options are beef jerky, dried fruit, energy bars, pretzels, or even canned tuna if you're into that. But those are the snacks I recommend. Now, a bonus is a journal. You're going to need something to write down your thoughts, your emotions, how you did, what you trained today, what you do, what you want to improve. Tracking things is essential for your growth because you get to see if you're actually improving. And it's also a good way to evaluate, see what you need to adjust, and adjust accordingly. If you want to know what I do in my own day, in my own journal, my training journal, and just random activities in my life, I have something called the weekly report, which I just write down 5 times a week, since that's mostly all the days I train, about what I do with my training, how I felt, what I need to improve, and what I need to improve in life, and just my thoughts throughout the whole day. So if you want to know what I do, I'll also link it down below. Subscribe to it. I release it weekly, so you get to see what I think about, what's in my life, and how I train. So those are just the 5 essential items. I'm sure there's a bunch of items out there, but this is just the ones I think that are the most important. If you're in college, of course, there's a whole list of things that you actually need for college too, but this is just for pertaining to student athletes. If you're a student athlete and you don't know what you need to sacrifice in order to be successful, click this video right here.